Tara Books. Tara Books is an award-winning Chennai-based independent publisher of illustrated and handmade books for children and for adults. Tara Books is committed to showcasing the rich diversity of Indian folk and tribal art by using their artwork as illustrations. So today we have with us Ms. Sanjana, a designer at Tara Books. She's going to show us how puppets can be made out of anything. You just need to know how. All right. So before we start the session, I'm going to give you guys some instructions. I want all of you to be on mute when the session is live. And if you have any questions while you have during the activity, you are welcome to add it in the comments or in the chat, and I will read it out for Ms. Sanjana during the question and answer session, which will be towards the end of the activity. Is everything clear? Yeah. So now it's over to Ms. Sanjana.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Everybody, I'm audible, right? Okay, so I'm just going to start then. Thanks, Monica, for introducing me. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming today. So basically, I'm a designer at Tara Books, and Tara Books is like this publishing house. We publish books, mostly illustrated books for kids, and we also like specialize in handmade books, which means that like every page is stitched together by people in our workshop. So that's what we specialize in. But since everybody is in lockdown and, you know, we haven't been able to really leave our homes as much, we thought that it would be interesting to do something like learning puppets, because it's something that's like dying out and it's something really close to Indian history as well. I don't know how many of you have seen puppets growing up maybe, or have watched a puppet performance, but we're going to make puppets today. So we had sent out a material list. I hope all of you have the materials that are needed, because we'll be making the puppet today. So what you'll need is something like this, maybe like a cardboard carton, whatever size you want, a pair of scissors or a cutter, some color paper, any kind of color paper, even if it's just newspaper lying around your house, just something pretty that you can cover the puppet with, and a scale if you want, and some sketch pens, and also some bottle caps if you have any of those. So if you have all of that, we can get started with the session then. So just to like quickly tell you about the book that this all started from. This is the book. Oh, someone's saying that they can't hear me. Not sure who it is. Should I carry on? I think I'll carry on.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So this is the book. It's called Puppets Unlimited, and the first version of the book was published by Tara in 1998, which is like 1 year before I was born, and probably much before all of you were born as well. So this is what the book looked like. And at that time, there wasn't color printing. Color printing was really expensive. So they had to like print out these photographs separately, and they were cut out. Each photograph was like stuck separately in the book. So that's pretty amazing if you think about it, because there's so many pages and it's all printed on craft paper. So it's a really, really old book, this one. And then what they decided to do was they decided to like republish the book again a few years ago. And this is the new design of the book. So just to tell you a little bit about the designer of the book, who is like my friend with me at Tara, she actually grew up reading this book, which is the older version of it. And she had it since she was like 11 years old. And the funny thing is she ended up joining Tara, and the first book she designed in our publishing house was this book. So it was almost like full circle. She grew up reading the book, and then she ended up redesigning the book as well. So that's a really like amazing story, I think. Even I grew up reading this book, and I think especially because I didn't have siblings and I had a lot of free time, it was something that gave me things to do. And, you know, I think it really helped me become a designer as well, because it just inspired me to be creative and look at things differently. So that's about how the book was born. And to talk about puppetry in India itself, puppetry is really, it's like an ancient art form, and puppets are usually made in India out of material like wood and leather, and it's something that's passed down through the generations of puppeteers. So it's something, unfortunately, that's been dying out these days, and there are not so many puppeteers left around. And even if they are left, they mostly are, you know, they like sell things in exhibitions and in display melas. But the whole point of why puppetry exists, which is basically the whole thing is about storytelling, right? So that's they don't perform that anymore. They don't do storytelling anymore because we have things like Netflix and, you know, we watch movies and TV shows, and this form of storytelling has somewhat died out in a sense. So what Tara wanted to do was look at this in a fun new way and see how we can make it relevant to our generation and your generation, and you know how children and adults can all still enjoy puppets. So I'm just going to quickly show you, just for a reference, what these puppets used to look like. So these are some traditional puppets. If you can see, these are some traditional puppeteers and the kind of puppets that they used to make. So there are different kinds of puppets, right? There are hand puppets, there are rod puppets, string and shadow puppets. These are the different kinds of puppets. So this is a kind of hand puppet. So this is like a puppet from Kerala. Hand puppets are when you are behind a screen and you control the puppet with your hand from behind the screen and the audience watches. Then you have rod puppets, which look like this. So they balance on sticks and they sort of controlled with their joints. So you can like make the puppets dance and it's really cool that way. Then you have shadow puppets, right? So shadow puppets were originated in both India and China. And there's a screen and then there's a puppeteer behind the screen and the shadow is cast, which the audience watches. So there's this really amazing legend from China actually about how shadow puppets came about. So there's this legend that there was a king whose wife, the queen, died, and the court magician, he actually made a shadow puppet for the first time. And the king believed that it was the spirit of his like dead queen come back to meet him and to comfort him. So that's the story of how a shadow puppet was born. And these are string puppets. They're also called marionettes, and they're supposed to be very lifelike and complex. And often they have like even operas conducted with just string puppets. But string puppets are more complicated because, you know, they have so many moving parts and the string often gets entangled. So what we're going to be doing today, I thought since it was a short session, what would be nice would be to do like a hand puppet, because hand puppets are like relatively simple. So I'm just going to show you some I've already made. So this is one, it's a little frog. And you know, the thing about the hand puppet is that you can make the hand puppet talk as well, like this. So there's really a lot you can do. So the thing is that, you know, since we're at home and we just have materials around us, it's something that you can do really easily as well. Here's another alien. So this is another alien puppet. So they can even like talk to each other maybe, and you can build stories. And the thing about puppets is that it's not about getting it right or making sure that you follow the instructions correctly. It's more about what kind of story you want to tell with your puppet. It's not so much about, oh, did I do this right? Or, oh, did I cut this right? It's more about what kind of story do I want to tell? Can it be funny? What kind of a character do I want to make? So if you guys want, we can start now with making a puppet. So there's different ways you can go about this, right? You can either think about the character you want to make and then make that character, or you can throw together a bunch of random things and then say, oh, this is the story behind the character. Or you could even think of an existing character. Like, for example, I really love frogs, okay? So that's why I made a frog puppet, because, you know, I like frogs and I was like, okay, I'm going to make a frog puppet. So these two actually already have a story. So me and my friend came up with stories for these two. So the reason I put like these blush circles on this frog is because this frog's name is Frank, and he's really shy when he meets strangers. So that's why he's like a shy frog, Frank. And this one has a blue mouth because she likes eating blue candy. So, you know, it's not so much about just making the puppet. It's also about, you know, the kind of message and the kind of values you want to instill in your puppet. So let's get started then. What you need is like this cardboard box. What you do is you first divide it, just like mark a halfway mark on the cardboard. You guys can make it along with me. I think that would be fun to do. So just mark a halfway mark on the cardboard. And don't cut it all the way through. Just sort of cut it down the middle on one side. You can use a cutter or a scissor, whatever is more convenient for you. So I'm just going to tilt this down so you can see what I'm doing. So I've marked a halfway line on the cardboard now. And I'm just cutting down the center. Just be careful when you do this. And again, remember, it's not about doing it perfectly. It's just about having fun while you do it. There aren't so many activity books that just, you know, let you it's more about the mistakes you make. You know, you can have happy accidents. Maybe you do something and it isn't right, but then you figure out that, oh, you can actually do something fun. That's how creativity is born, right? Maybe sometimes you make mistakes and then find out, oh, this is something new and something I can work with. So basically what you do is you cut it down the center like this and down the sides. So you go from right around this way, and then this way. So on 3 sides, you make a cut. Am I going too fast for you guys? Should I slow down? No, it's okay? Okay. Then, so if you've got it cut like this now, just fold it in half like this, right? So it looks like this, and just crease it so it sort of is stronger. Okay. Then what you do is you have something like this, right, with you. So this is how the puppet moves. This is like the joint along which it moves. Okay. So if you've done that, what you do next is you take like a piece of paper or colored paper or something, whatever you have. I'm going to use yellow because, so I've decided that I want this puppet to be really happy and fun. I want him to be like a fun guy. I've already decided he's going to be like this funky, cool character. So he's going to be like this color. So you guys can also, you know, decide what you want your puppet to look like. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cover this whole box with colored paper. You can stick it on like whichever way you want. Just make sure you cover the whole thing. So just going to do that. If you can see. So I've got one that wraps around all the way. So just stick it on. You can use something like Fevicol or glue, whatever you have lying around. The aim is just to like cover the whole thing so you don't see what's under it. So the thing is that, you know, like a lot of toys we buy these days are like made out of plastic, and they're like, they already come with instructions, right? They come with like, oh, this character likes this character and plays with this character, and they're all made out of plastic and they're not really sustainable. If you think about, you know, how much waste that creates, and this is like you're making toys for yourself. They can be whatever you want them to be, and also it's good for the environment. So that's just like a bonus. So just put this on. It's sort of like the clothes, I guess, for your puppet. So gonna do that. You guys can do it as well if you're making it. No. Put it on. Do you guys have any ideas for him, like what he can look like? If you have any ideas, like put it in the chat box, and maybe Monica can tell me what they are. So I'm thinking maybe he should have a mustache or something. If you guys have any ideas, or a mohawk could be cool as well. If you have any ideas, put it in the chat box. You want him to have a gun? Why a gun? Okay, let's see. Maybe he could be like a cowboy with a nice mustache and a gun, maybe. Okay. So I'm just going to cover the second side now. Also. And you know, another thing about these puppeteers is that, you know, we often like look at people who don't like have a, you know, like people who don't go to school, like you and me, and people who maybe haven't gone to college as well. We often look at them and we think, oh, they're uneducated, or, oh, you know, they don't know as much as us. But the thing about puppeteers is that this is not something you learn in school, right? It's something that you learn from like, it's passed down through the generations, and it's not a formal like method of education, but they seriously know their science, and they seriously know their materials and the function of how it works. So it's not always about learning things in, you know, like learning subjects as such. There are so many different ways of learning and so many different ways of education as well. So it's also that all these crafts people don't get the kind of respect they deserve. That's another sad thing. But the good thing is that, you know, if we carry on the tradition, then that's a great thing for them as well. So I'm just going to tape this up. Okay. you can do it neater than me. I'm just doing it fast now because there isn't so much time. Right? So, yep, we're almost there. It looks like this now. Right? And then we have, you can cut like little bits like this for the sides because you need to cover this up as well. So just stick it over there. And I mean, tape is just easier, but glue looks better because you don't see the edges then, right? So what else can we talk about? Yeah, so if any of you are making puppets, why don't you like show it to the camera once? I want to see what you guys are doing. Might be fun to see. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's so cool. That's really cool. Just like continue wrapping it so that it's like fully clothed. You don't want him to not be fully clothed. He might feel shy. Think of a name also. So the thing is that this book, right? Each puppet has a name also. That's the fun part of the puppet, right? So each puppet like comes with a name. So the one we're making right now is called Chatterbox. This is the name of, this is the puppet. So this is like one version of the Chatterbox, and he's called Chatterbox because his mouth moves, right? So each Chatterbox, like each puppet comes with their own story, which is really fun to look at as well. Like look at this one. This is like a Rishi puppet. Then you have what else you have? You have like a ballet puppet. You have this is like a shadow puppet over here. So there are all these different kinds of puppets. So actually there are different books like this. There's one on making toys as well that we have. If you want that, that's more about science. It's the science behind toys, but it's still really fun. It's about how science can be fun with toys. And you can make toys that like fly. Like there's this helicopter toy made out of paper, which is really cool in that book. And all these books are like there on our website if you guys want to check it out. Okay, so this is what it should look like. If you're getting it done, it should kind of look like this, right? So the mouth opens and closes. So, oh, wow, that's cool. So yeah, the small puppet, right? The small one is really nice because you can do it with just one hand, like this one. So it's just really easy because you can move it with one hand. So small ones are great as well. With a big one, you kind of need both your hands to move the puppet. But with the small one, you can really just keep talking and it's really fun with the small one.
Hey, Sanjana.
Hi.
You have like 5 more minutes.
Okay, sure. So then what you can do is maybe if you have bottle caps, you can decide what kind of eyes you want your puppet to have. So I'm thinking maybe, what can we do with him? Should his eyes be like, oh, this is a nice size, right? For his eyes. I also have these two, but these are kind of smaller. So I think I'm going to go with the bigger ones. Yeah, this seems like a nice size. So I'm just going to stick this on with like Fevicol. Actually, no, since we have less time, I'm just going to go with tape because Fevicol takes time to dry, right? So I'm just going to go with the tape for now. You guys can probably use Fevicol. It'll be cleaner. So, and it's also like, you know, why does a character look happier or sadder? So if I put the eyes closer together, he look totally different than, you know, if I put the eyes far apart. So you can really like think about what makes a person look happy or sad, or what makes the character look funny or cool, and you can decide what you want. And I think the most fun part is if you make enough puppets, you can even like have a puppet show, or like if you have a favorite movie, you know, like, I don't know, if you like Avengers, or if you like, I don't know, like Frozen, I don't know what you like, but whatever you like, you can literally act out the whole story with just puppets you make, because you can make puppets for all those characters. I have a cousin who did that and she had so much fun doing it. Okay, so I'm just gonna stick these on really carefully. Okay. So it looks something like this then. So both the eyes are on. And I'm just gonna draw little eyeballs because he kind of looks like he doesn't have eyes right now, right? So I'm just gonna draw on some eyeballs. Okay. So, and your eyes can be any color as well. I'm just making it black because I think it'll go well with the yellow. You guys can really choose any color you want. One sec. He can even have crazy eyes, like a spiral or her. Your puppet could be a her as well. So if you've got these two eyes on, like, you know, I decided to give this puppet eyelashes because I just thought how fun would it be for an alien to have these crazy eyelashes. So you can really like give your puppet any accessory you want, right? So this puppet didn't look so crazy till I put the eyelashes on, but with the eyelashes, the puppet looks much more fun. So I think you can think about, you know, do you want your puppet to have clothes? Maybe he could have a hoodie or she could have a necklace or earrings. You still want the gun? You still want the gun? Okay, if we have time, we'll do that. Okay. So this is here for now. Maybe I'm thinking he can have a mustache as well. Maybe like a blue mustache. I think a blue mustache would be cool. So I'm just going to. What kind of a mustache do you think? Maybe like a really big one, a big spiral mustache. Those are funny. Can you guys show me what you're doing? I would love to see where you guys are at with your puppets. Okay, nice, nice. It's moving, right? That's the first step of the puppet. So the thing is, once you get the movement in place, everything else that you do with the puppet is just your own creativity. The whole point is that you learn the basic principle, which is that, okay, this puppet moves on a hinge and that's what it is. So once you get that in place, it's much easier and faster to figure out what you want to do. Okay, so I'm just cutting out this mustache right now for the puppet. It's kind of wonky, but maybe the puppet can just be a funny guy. So he has a wonky mustache. So just going to, okay. So this is the mustache we have here. Okay, so I've got this mustache for him right now, right? I'm just gonna put this on, maybe. Oh, there we go. I also feel like he would look good with a hat on, but unfortunately we don't have time for that. So I'm just gonna put this one on him for now. Okay. So there we go. We've kind of got like this character now who can talk. Any name suggestions before I get to accessories? The gun's an accessory, so we'll get to that. Maybe while I'm answering your questions, I can do that. But just getting the basic puppet in place first.
I have an idea for the name.
Oh, what? What's the idea?
Just forgot it.
Sorry?
I just forgot it. Like.
Oh. So, okay, so this is what we have. Another thing that I just want to say is that, you know, the thing about traditions is that, so puppet making is a really amazing tradition that's been around for thousands of years. But what keeps traditions alive? Traditions only stay alive if we keep updating them, right? So that's why this is a way to update a tradition. This is a way to keep the art of puppet making alive. And I think that's beautiful because if it can still be passed down to our generation and we can enjoy it, what's better than that, right? Oh, wait, I see that one of you has made a puppet, a blue one. Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, there's a tongue as well. That's really, really cool. Do you have a name? Do you have a name for your puppet? A name? Maybe you can send it in the, oh, wait, is there a chat box and I'm not able to see it? Maybe, um, it looks amazing. Yuri, I think Yuri, yeah, your puppet looks amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is what it is. I think I'm gonna name mine. So you know the funny thing is there is an Indian name as well, that's Chatterjee, right? It's a name in India, and I think that would suit the puppet really well because the puppet's called Chatterbox. So I think I'm gonna name him Chatterjee just because it's a fun way of looking at it. Okay, I don't think Chatterjee would like hold a gun though. Can you think of anything else that Chatterjee could hold? Maybe? Chatterjee doesn't sound like someone who'd hold a gun. He sounds more like a writer or something like that. So anyway, Chatterjee could also use a tongue, but I don't think we have. But I don't think Chatterjee likes guns. I don't think he would like that though. Maybe you can make one with whatever accessory you want. That could be fun. Maybe your puppet could be a cowboy puppet. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? I think we can take questions now. I think it's, if you guys have any questions at all that you would like to ask me or about puppet making at all. So I've been inspired by your tongue. Your tongue is really cute in the blue puppet. So I'm giving mine a tongue as well because it looks so fun. Okay, and you can give yours a really long tongue. So with the frog puppet, I was thinking I would give him like a really long tongue. Oh, there we go. So now Chatterjee has the tongue as well. So maybe he should have a nose as well. I'm thinking, why should he not have a nose, right? So there we go. Now we have a full puppet. Oh, I love, what is that in his mouth? That's cool. Okay, so this is like a full puppet, I guess. There's also like, there's also like different kinds of hand puppets. So this one is like one made out of a coconut. I had made it earlier. And this is how you make, so all these different puppets are in the book, right? There are like tons and tons of puppets that you can make with just like things around your house. So this one's really cool because the hand is like completely controlled. Like your fingers become the hands, right? And then you can really like control how the head moves. The hand can like say hi, and you can make different ones and, you know, play around with your hands as well. So yeah, I think that's what you can do, you know. So now I have like three. I have three in different sizes. So I've got this guy over here, I've got this little guy over here, and I've got this sort of in between size guy over here. So these are like, all three of them are here and they all have different names. And, you know, doing a puppet show would be really fun. So maybe I'll do that as well. Other than that, yeah. Sorry.
We only have 2 more minutes. So if
Oh,
participants
okay.
have any more questions or anything.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
So participants can put it in the chat box, and I don't think they have any questions, but I'm sure
Okay,
all
okay.
participants enjoyed your session.
Thank you.
We've been getting a lot of good comments from parents and people who've been watching it. Thank you very much, Sanjana.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us over. I'm just going to quickly just tell you about the book. If you guys want to get this book, it's available on our website. It's called tarabooks.com. That's our website. We have an online store where we have like tons of books like these that, you know, maybe can keep you company while you're at home. And there are all these puppets as well. And because you guys are 25 now, and Tara has also just turned 25 this year, we have a special like coupon code for AISC. It's called AISC 25, and you'll get 25% off on all our books. So check it out if you want puppets to keep you company. And I hope you guys had fun, because this is something I really had fun with growing up as well. I still make puppets. So I hope you guys can make some puppets, read some books, and have a good time.
Yeah, we really enjoyed the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Bye guys, have fun. Bye.